How's it going, YouTube? Tyler, the semi-mechanic here, guys. Today we are talking about hotshot trucking. No, I'm not getting back into hotshot trucking at the current point in time, but I wanted to talk to you guys about basically, I'm going to call it the headaches of hotshot trucking. These are the things that many people don't realize when they are trying to get into hotshot trucking, and they learn these headaches as they go along. Most of these headaches revolve around money. And I wanted to talk about all the headaches and I guess, the hard side of hotshot trucking that people don't realize. A lot of people get into hotshot trucking thinking it's going to be loaded with money and that it's easy and it's fun. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's sometimes easy. But there is a lot of bad about hotshot trucking too, and a lot of difficulty and a lot of stress and a lot of lost sleep, a lot of frustration. So I wanted to talk about the headaches of hotshot trucking. All right. So first and foremost, guys, I will tell you right now, if you want to be in hotshot trucking, you are going to have a very tough time not running the road like a traditional trucker and making really any real money. I'm going to say that flat out. I don't care whether you run CDL or non-CDL. Unless if you are one of those few people who have a really good local or regional gig, you are going to be an over-the-road trucker if you want to make any real money. So what that means is you are going to be gone from home. Whether you're going to be gone from home for 1 week at a time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long you figure out and that you can make money, you are going to be gone from home. You will simply not make enough money being local or regional, more than likely, to cover the expenses of the business, pay yourself, and provide for a family. That is just a fact. That was something that I fought, trying to basically defy that I had to be an over-the-road hotshotter. And the only times that I made any money was when I was over the road. And at most, I was only gone like a week and a half, 2 weeks at the very most. And those were the only times that I made any real money. So be prepared, guys, to be an over-the-road trucker if you are going to go into hotshotting. That is just a tough fact. Some guys are lucky enough to not do that, but plan for that, okay? Plan to be gone from home, I guess is the way to put it. Second point, a huge headache is insurance. Guys, the insurance for trucking is right on the borderline of being a monopoly by Progressive. Almost all insurance companies outsource their commercial auto insurance to Progressive. I know that there's guys who use small private companies. They are out there. You just have to go looking. But most of all of the major insurance companies just outsource to Progressive. So really, you're kind of at the will of what Progressive wants to insure you, okay? Your insurance going along with that is going to be very expensive, guys, especially in your first year. You basically have to earn your place, I guess is the way to call it. If I remember correctly, my first year insurance, I think, was almost $18,000. And my second year renewal dropped down to, I believe it was like $11,000. I'm a little rusty on the numbers, but it was a huge, huge insurance drop for my renewal. But guys, that first year is tough. The first year of basically getting your way into hotshotting is very hard. You're going to be dealing with expensive insurance. You're going to be learning all of your costly mistakes. You're going to be learning the hard lessons, I should say. And then on top of it, you're going to deal with the problem of, if you run your own authority, you're going to run into not being able to get a lot of loads because brokerages want you to have an established authority. When I started in hotshotting, it was pretty common for 90 days. Now that's changed to, a lot of companies have changed it to 6 months at a minimum, and a lot of them have gone up to a year or more. A lot of it has changed in the last couple years. So be prepared to be denied a lot of freight at probably the worst time. Like when you need the money and you are in the perfect spot, right around the corner, ready to head home, and they have a perfect load and they won't give it to you, that's when you're going to get denied the load, okay? Be prepared for that. It's frustrating and it is constant. It's going to happen. Next is your monthly overhead. Guys, this is something a concept that a lot of people don't understand. It's something that even I don't fully understand. I will admit it to you. But let me just put it down as simple as I can. People don't realize that when you are in business, whether you work or not, your expenses are going to keep coming in. You are going to have a monthly set of bills if your equipment sits there that you have to pay. So those bills are your insurance. If your equipment is not paid for, you're going to have to make your truck and trailer payments, have all your load board subscriptions, your bookkeeping subscriptions, anything that you have to pay monthly on that bill is coming every month. So my monthly overhead monthly, okay, I'm talking everything, just what went out of my account was $2,000 a month. And that was for my insurance, my load boards, all that stuff I just said. Now, granted, my equipment was all paid for. So I wasn't paying on any of my equipment, but that overhead is not taking into account depreciation of equipment. That is a whole nother math formula. That's something that you can get with an accountant and all that stuff to figure out, I guess, if you want to actually calculate it. But your monthly overhead, guys, is what kills you, especially in your first year when, if you're only bringing in $10,000 gross in a month, by the time you take away essentially 33% for direct expenses, 33% for planned expenses, basically maintenance and equipment care or equipment replacement, you only have about $3,300 left over. If you take $2,000 out of that, you only have $1,300 left over. So guys, it's expensive. That is what this boils down to. It's expensive. Now, I brought up maintenance. Maintenance is also something that is expensive and, more importantly, very time consuming. I did almost all my own maintenance myself. Anything that wasn't covered under factory warranty or whatever, I did everything myself. I have the tools, I have the experience, all that type of stuff. Anything I could do, I did, which saved me a ton of money. Because, guys, you are going to be putting your truck down for service, depending on your preferences, probably every 8 to 14,000 miles for an oil change. In between oil changes, you have to deal with your tire rotations, and then you have to deal with your, if you probably have grease bearings on your trailer, you have to repack those. Guys, maintenance it's not hard, but it takes a lot of time. And if you don't do maintenance yourself, that's even add 3 times to the cost of what you're going to pay, not including, the added downtime, the added miles, the added wear and tear. Good and bad maintenance is what will make or break you in a lot of situations. If you don't take care of your stuff, it's going to break. Obviously, you can't always control breakdowns, but if you don't take care of your stuff properly, in the long run, your stuff is going to let you know, hey, you didn't take care of me. Have a nice day. So, maintenance is huge, guys. Do not short your equipment on maintenance. It is huge. It is expensive. It is time consuming, but it is absolutely vital to the success of hot shotting. Okay. Next, dealing with DOT. DOT is a constant headache as a hotshot trucker. Whether you run non-CDL or CDL, anybody who's in hotshot will tell you DOT targets hotshot truckers. They do. They will even admit it. The reason why they target hotshot truckers is, well, because frankly, a lot of people who run hotshot are not really the best quality of people, I guess we'll put it. A lot of people who run hotshot don't understand the laws. They don't understand the rules. People just go out, they get a pickup, they get their trailer, they hook it on, and they go and they start moving freight. And DOT wants to nail hotshotters. That is just a fact. And you will be targeted. I promise you, if you go through a port with 10 other trucks and you're the only hotshotter, if they're going to pull somebody for an inspection, it's going to be you. I guarantee it every time. So be prepared for lots of inspections. Be prepared to argue with DOT when it comes to like sleeping in your truck and all that type of stuff. Guys, you really have to know your laws. You really have to know, the material. And every DOT officer is different. Some of them are awesome. Some of them are great at educating. And some of them are trying to make a name for themselves. And they're going to make your life very hard. Try to keep your cool. Just yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Just go through it, take your punches, go back, learn from it, do your studying, and then next time if you run into a similar problem, like with sleeping in the truck off duty is probably the biggest problem, then you will handle that problem next time better with evidence. I mean, if it comes down to it. So be prepared to tango with DOT a lot. Another thing that I want to talk about is the 65-foot rule. A lot of people that run hotshot do not understand the concept of this rule. If your combination length between your truck and trailer exceeds 65 foot, you are in violation. Unless if your truck, your power unit is considered a tractor. This is something that when you run a 40-foot trailer, that matters. If you run a 36-footer, you don't have to worry about this because you're less than 65 foot. But if you run a 40-foot trailer, whether you're CDL or non-CDL, the 65-foot rule is very, very important. A lot of people will get hemmed up. Do your research on it. You need to, if you run a 40-footer or bigger, it would be very wise to make your truck a tractor. Basically, how this is done in this short scope of things is you have to remove the bed, and you have to, according to the wording, it says you have to run a fifth wheel connection. This is a gray area, like with a lot of stuff. Okay, a lot of guys do run fifth wheels. If you pull the bed off, a fifth wheel is better to pull than a gooseneck, anyways. But a lot of guys still run it with their truck being a tractor or their power unit being a tractor. They will run it with a gooseneck with no problem. So once you remove the bed, you basically change the registration, I guess, register it as a tractor, and most guys put a fifth wheel on. Like I said, they pull better. They're more stable. Once you do that and your power unit is considered a tractor, you are automatically don't have to worry about the 65-foot rule. So you can pull a 40-footer, you can pull a 45-footer, you can pull even longer, 53-footer. It gets rid of, it makes you go from a truck trailer to a tractor semi-trailer, I think. I have to look at the rules again. But very important rule, 65-foot rule, guys. It can get you hemmed up. Guys, whether you're non-CDL or CDL, the longer trailer you can run, the more freight options you're going to have. So that being said, if you are non-CDL and you're pulling a 40-foot trailer, you're probably only going to be able to carry about 8,000 pounds. If you move to a CDL setup, you're probably looking at no less than probably 16,000 pounds at the very minimum, depending on your setup. So guys, a headache with this is figuring out what kind of setup you want. And that is a headache. I ran non-CDL with a short trailer. I guess it was a 30-foot trailer. I had a carrying capacity of 10,500 pounds. And if I would have went up to a 40-footer, my carrying capacity would have dropped down to about 8,000. And if you're running non-CDL, another constant headache that you're dealing with is overloading your drive axle on your pickup. Guys, it is a game of constant balance being able to keep your drive axle not overweight. Especially if you're pulling a long load, you have to keep that weight off the front of your trailer. Basically, as non-CDL, the front, basically 5 to 8 foot of your trailer is just empty because it's so easy to overload your drive axle on your pickup. So something to think about, guys. A headache if you run non-CDL is dealing with an overloaded drive axle. It's just something that you're going to learn the more that you're in the business, the more times you scale, how to basically prevent that if you can, because you do not want to get hemmed up, especially with a load that you cannot move. Because I'm telling you, if you go through a port, they are going to nail you on that. There is usually some flexibility with that. They're usually, I should say, cool about that. But to a point, guys, you need to just do your best to keep your axles not overloaded. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest headaches of hotshot trucking, and that is whether you're going to run non-CDL or CDL. I will put it this way, guys. Running non-CDL was fantastic for me to be able to learn how to be in hotshot trucking. It was much cheaper when it came to my mistakes. It was a much cheaper overhead for, like, in general. I mean, your insurance is cheaper, your operating cost is cheaper, everything is cheaper non-CDL. So it is a great way to learn. But if you really enjoy it and you want to move up, you have to get CDL equipment. And I don't mean just going out and buying a 40-foot trailer with dual axles and running a 3/4 ton pickup. That is not the way to do it, because you got to think a 3/4 ton pickup is probably only rated to tow at max. Like, mine was only rated to tow 18,000 pounds. So my trailer fully loaded running non-CDL, I would be at 16,000, like 16.5, something like that. So I was close to that limit. So if I went out and bought another trailer with two 12K axles, I'm overloading the truck, the capacity of the truck. So you don't want to do that, guys. So basically, starting with non-CDL, and if you want to move up to CDL, which is fantastic, and that's where you're going to make a lot more money, you need to be prepared to not only get a new trailer, but to also get a new truck. And that is very, very expensive, and that is a very, very big investment. That was an investment that I decided was not worth it. Between all the headaches I just listed below and the cost, I mean, guys, it's over 6 figures to get a CDL setup. I will tell you, unless if you buy something that's really used, it is over 6 figures. It is a big investment and a big commitment to hotshotting. So that was something that I wasn't willing to do, that is just that. I'm sure people are going to ask in this video, can you make any money non-CDL hotshot versus CDL? And I will say yes, you can make money. But like I said, you're going to be gone a lot, whether you're CDL or non-CDL, and your amount that you're going to make as non-CDL is going to be significantly less than CDL, like thousands less a week. Meaning CDL guys average easy 6,000 a week gross at a minimum. As non-CDL, it's tough to sometimes get over 4,500, 5,000 in a week. That's like a really good week for non-CDL. So I guess is the way to put it. If you run CDL, you're going to make more money, but you have more headaches to deal with. Then you have to deal with IFTA, you have to deal with IRP, you have to deal with drug testing, you have to deal with more expensive maintenance, more expensive overhead, more expensive insurance. There is a lot more headache when you go CDL, but you also have the ability to make a lot more money. So guys, it kind of goes both ways. There's a lot of give and take and a lot of figuring out, but guys, the headaches of hotshot trucking are very real. It's a very rewarding job being an owner-operator. It's also a very frustrating job. It's going to be tough on your home life, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you're married, if you have kids, it's going to be tough, and you're going to have to make a choice if you want to be basically married to the road or if you want to be married to your family. That is just a fact. And guys, if you are single and just want to cruise around in your truck and trailer, you're going to love it. But if you're married, if you got kids, if you got a family at the house waiting for you, it's hard. But it was fun. I definitely miss it some days. There's a lot of stuff I don't miss. But guys, I just wanted to bring you guys up to speed with some of the headaches of hotshot trucking that many people don't think about. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. That's going to sum this video up. If you enjoyed this video, please shoot me a like and a subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to throw them in the comment section, and stay tuned for more content. Thanks, guys.